me and Ludwig shared a lot of our viewers. A lot. A lot. On YouTube and on Twitter and on Twitch. Everywhere. It ruined my life. That's all it did. That first video ruined my life. And to someone that I thought I was close to. And for what? You put out a second video, you slab Rich in the front of it, Schlatt in the back, me in the middle, and said that it's partially false. Like, dude, what? The video ruined my life. Yeah, someone that I thought was a friendly person in my life. You collabed with them after still? Yeah, because you wanna know why? I desperately had to cling on to everybody and everything those first 6 months because I had literally nothing. And I didn't even collab with them. What collaboration did I do?
This lawsuit has nothing to say about whether Mizkif tried to cover up SA at all. No, yeah, the lawsuit has technically nothing to do with that, for sure. Although, I mean, you could argue on the peripheral that it kind of does. So let's say hypothetically, I'm speculating a lot on complaints I haven't even seen. If Adriana sued Mizkif and she said, Mizkif is defaming me because he lied about covering up the sexual assault, and Mizkif is able to show, look, I actually didn't, so this isn't true or whatever, then he beats the defamation claim, and then arguably they would also speak to the other thing too. But keep in mind, okay, Jesus, fuck. We should just go get the law degree so I can speak with a little bit more authority instead of guessing on everything. If something is dismissed in pre-trial, that means that the facts that were being alleged weren't enough to get to court, right? For these particular motions to dismiss. Judges are not supposed to be deciding matters of fact in pretrial, only matters of law. So for instance, if Mizkif said, I actually didn't say this, and Adriana said, I think you did say this, a judge is not going to rule and say, oh, well, I agree with her and not with you, or I agree with him and not with you. That's for a jury to decide, or a judge if it's a judge trial, but not in pretrial, right? That's for the trial to determine the outcome of that, and then both sides of evidence, okay? The judge in pretrial is not supposed to be a finder of fact. So if a motion to dismiss is granted, there might be other civil procedure rules in there, but if a motion to dismiss is granted, it just means that even if all of the facts alleged are true, you're either not entitled to any award, or there's not even like a cause for action here, right? So again, the example being my landlord called me a loser, and I go to court and I sue him for that. I file the motion. I say, hey, look, he called me a loser. He would file a counter motion, assuming it's not immediately thrown out. I don't know if the judge can throw out shit that's obviously retarded, probably. But I mean, there would be a counter motion, and the guy would say, I'm filing for a motion to dismiss. And the guy would say, look, there is no statute, there is no law, there is no rule in Florida that says I can't call my tenant a loser, so whatever. And then the judge will look at this and go, okay, well, even if all the facts alleged are true, that's right. There is nothing broken here, and there's no relief that can be granted, so get and then it would be granted. Yeah. Oh, okay. If this is what happened, then how would Mizkif even use this case to exonerate himself? Well, one, because nobody understands legal shit, so you can just say basically whatever the you want about it. But also, two, it might have had something more specific to do, and I just don't know because we can't read the case itself, right? So.
Everybody and everything those first 6 months because I had literally nothing. And I didn't even collab with him. What collaboration did I do? Went to his events. Yeah, I mean, but it made me look good. I had...
Pisco, I don't think that it's publicly available. Or at least, I'm sorry, it's not, I think they all supposed to be publicly available if they're not sealed, but it's not available, I don't think, on the internet. You probably have to like go to the actual courthouse in this county and pay a filing fee or whatever and get them printed out or whatever, we might guess.
I had to do anything I can to make myself look good over these past few years. I literally had to. I had to make sure that people realize in the spotlight, in the world, that I'm okay. What he did was messed up, but he basically made a video admitting that he was completely wrong. Dude, it was literally...
Just request him online? You couldn't. I tried to last night and I wasn't able to.
Messed up, but he basically made a video admitting that he was completely wrong. Dude, it was literally 20 seconds in the middle of a video. I don't think you understand something, okay? Me and Ludwig shared a lot of our viewers. A lot. A lot. On YouTube and on Twitter and on Twitch. Everywhere. Ludwig doing that did nothing. Ludwig doing any of that did nothing. It ruined my life. That's all it did. That first video ruined my life. And to someone that I thought I was close to, at least in the space. And for what? You put out a second video, you slab Rich in the front of it, Schlatt in the back, me in the middle, and said that it's partially false. Like, dude, what? The video ruined my life. And then the shit on me on the yard with his buddies.
Adriana would also have to prove actual malice, so Mizkif could have still covered up sexual assault, but the judge might not have enough evidence to prove Miz that lied and met the actual malice standard. That would not be a thing that a judge would determine pre-trial, though.
Yeah, it sucked. Saying I'm glad he's gone because I called him a Ludwig. Are you fucking serious? Are you a 5-year-old? Are you really gonna cry over that? Suicide's no joke. It's no fucking joke. Suicide is, it's insane. I literally didn't even feel like I was a human in those months. I straight up felt like there was something behind me that was guiding me to kill myself. And I was thinking, I never even thought of it as death. I thought of it as falling asleep. I was like, I just want to fall asleep for a long time. It's wild. And I've never been the same.
Last night, Jessica and Cherry were kind of making fun of Mizkif, constantly saying he wanted to kill himself. Do you agree with them? I also thought it was kind of, I don't know, I haven't listened to it, but I think if you're like a celebrity, I think you can't complain ever about dealing with online drama because nobody will ever be able to understand your perspective and you just sound entitled and stupid to everybody. So you just have to complain to friends or other like celebrity people, basically. Legally, how difficult would it be for Mizkif to sue for damages? I'm pretty sure Miz wasn't able to get close to OTK's top streamer event since Progressive Insurance was sponsoring it. I don't know. For suing damages, you have to prove damages. I don't know how hard or easy that is to prove in court. I'm not sure. But also, remember, keep in mind, right? Relief, like meaning the thing that is granted to make you whole is like the relief that a court can grant you for a thing is just one part of like a human's picture, right? Like the question would be, is there any amount of money that, assuming they won, is there any amount of money that could be paid to Mizkif that would outweigh the massive negative public reaction to him suing a girl who, like, I don't even think you would ever want that to go to court. Why the f would you even want to be involved in that? That's just going to be a PR nightmare. I don't think you would ever want to do that. Unless she was like a billionaire and you're like, I'm about to cash out on this motherfucker, yeah.
The one thing that did age really poorly and that was pretty bad of Mizkif.
Oh wait, did we watch this? I feel like we watched all this a year ago.
AKA this clip. Well, let's just play my reaction here.
Single person that we used to hang out with that doesn't hang out with Slick anymore because of what happened. I actually think there's literally none. Because the reality is, worst comes to worst of it, it's like sexual harassment, right? I mean, like, no one, of what you can deem.
Ooh, he almost said something. Who cares? Almost.
Of it, it's
I remember this.
Sexual harassment, whatever.
Now, this was a clip from Miz that was on his alt stream that didn't sound so nice in the moment, and this is what I said about it.
At a low scale, it's not really a big deal. I don't think people really gave a shit.
This is Miz speaking way too candidly and way too stupidly about sexual assault, saying it's low scale, like there's a tier list that we have to drop every year on what sexual assault we need to rank S tier, what sexual assault we need to rank F tier. And I lambasted him a bit for that comment because it was, pertaining to sexual assault, which is like a big deal. But I was wrong. He wasn't talking about sexual assault at the time. It was only known that Crazy Slick, his roommate at the time, sexually harassed Adriana. That's based off her words. Listen to this.
I've only recently figured out and found out, especially without sitting, that it's sexual assault.
So I feel like that covers it. I'm just playing that clip again because it is totally coincidental that I happened to upload that video yesterday or 2 days ago, and then they did this announcement yesterday. Obviously, I have no clue that this was coming. Otherwise, it would have been great to just wait a day, and that would have covered it. But yes, rehashing a lot of the original claims of Mizkif covering up sexual assault don't seem to be true. What is true, and what OTK did punish him for, were his actions on his comeback stream October 11th, which demonstrated a lack of empathy and ignorance towards the seriousness of the situation. Now, I never made a video about this, I never really talked about this, so a lot of you might not know, but after the initial apology that Mizkif made on Twitter, he kind of went radio silent for a while. He didn't stream for a long time, and then he suddenly was like, I'm going to come back and I'm going to stream. Fine, that's up to him. You know, the investigation wasn't...
Okay.
Hassan, quickly, come on, real quick. 30 seconds, fuck out of here. Just get your interview out of the way. I don't care if you piss your pants.
What are you dropping? I'm just dropping my bag. Oh, let's go over in the backdrop. Wait, are we moving?
We gotta move for Hassan, actually. Hassan's too big, apparently.
Go over there, go back there.
Yeah, what?
Okay.
Over here now. She said trust her.
Hassan's not allowed to stand in front of the
We had
sponsors.
someone earlier who's the same height as you, who beat you in basketball. I forget his name, I'm a piece of shit. Gotta pee.
Oh no. Oh no. Is that actually what happened? And it sounds like, no, we're fine. Let's go over there. And they're like, no. Come back over here. Oh no.
Wow, dude,
Is that?
Hassan, quickly, come on, real quick. 30 seconds, fuck out of here. Just get your interview out of the way. I don't care if you piss your pants. What are you dropping?
I'm just dropping my bag. Oh, let's go over in the backdrop. Are we moving?
We gotta move for Hassan actually. Hassan's too big apparently.
Go over there. Go back there.
Yeah, what?
Okay.
Over here now.
She said trust her.
Hassan's not allowed to stand in front of the
We had
sponsors.
someone earlier who's the same height as you who beat you in basketball. I forget his name. I'm a piece of shit.
Jesus Christ.
What? How am I like T1 in the
I'm also
slightest?
excited to announce that this stream is being brought to you with limited ads, thanks to all the articles written about Hassan.
I actually died 7 times in WoW. I'm nothing
Who's
like
not
Tyler
even
one.
in his fucking seat. Where is he?
Cutie admits she lost ads because of Hassan. I feel like this is a joke. I feel like that was just a joke. I don't think that was serious. I can't tell who's more autistic sometimes. You guys or...
What? How am I like T1 in the
I'm also
slightest?
excited to announce that this stream is being brought to you with limited ads, thanks to all the articles written about Hassan.
I actually died 7 times in WoW. I'm nothing
Who's
like
not
Tyler
even
one.
in his fucking seat. Where is he? Oh, he's talking.
Can't
to-
wait when that guy
talking
holding a
to speed.
VR streamer tablet gets
We
replaced
do have
by
some of the
Tesla
biggest streamers in the world here tonight.
Coming for you.
This will be re-uploaded with a logo.
The whole world.
What are you excited for in the Streamer Awards? What are you excited to see today in the Streamer Awards?
I'm excited to
Head from
see,
Destiny?
you know, because
I'm
I've
actually
said
down
this
for that.
before.
Yeah, it was me.
You know, I lose
In the Streamer Awards.
I'm excited to
Head from
see,
Destiny?
you know, because
I'm
I've
actually
said
down
this
for that.
before.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
me.
You know, I lose to Hassan a lot in basketball when we play. I'm really excited to see him lose.
Destiny owes me.
I
Actually,
like the energy.
that's fair.
Well,
I
Ted.
want to see people win.
Destiny owes me an.
I want to see someone lose.
But I get to stream it.
A lot of people are going to lose tonight.
That is true. A lot of people say, I don't know.
I don't know why he would say that, but I guess, yeah, technically it is true. I do own him because last time when he sucked me off, I didn't do anything in favor. In a video game. Okay. This was Henry Resilient. Oh, did he get the documents? This is 5 months old. 14 minutes.
Laid out, man. I mean, I already went to court over this. It's been all laid out. I just haven't said anything. You guys didn't know about the court thing? Let me ask my lawyer if I could say. No, it was a literal legal case. I thought it was all public. It is. So then how don't you know? I don't know if I could say. I thought you guys just knew. But, I mean, it's good news for me. I'll just go with that.
First off, this case still has a status designation of open. So if he was to win the case, I mean, maybe it should be closed. Now, if you notice anything about the top, it's just Adriana Lee versus Mizkif, Crazy Slick, and Mizkif Company, right? So you scroll all the way down. I don't want to go all the way down to everything, but this is the last update, these vacation letters, right? And then you have this, the judge granting OTK's motion for lawyer fees in the amount of $50,000. So down, I don't want to go all the way down to everything, but this is the last update, these vacation letters. Right? And then you have this, the judge granting OTK's motion for lawyer fees in the amount of $50,000. So they signed off that Adriana Lee owes OTK.
Wait, sorry. Wait, where does he see the 50K at? Am I just blind? Am I not seeing it? Where's the 50K? Okay. I don't know where you got that from.
$50,000 in lawyer fees, right? So prior to that, just a quick
Yeah, Pacer is just for a federal suit.
View of everything.
Cases.
This is the order.
Oh, he actually got the order somehow. Okay, so he either contacted the courthouse. I like how he watermarked it. He either emailed the courthouse or had somebody print it out for him or something. Okay.
This is from 9/19. This is, hey, he said he won. Well, I just go to the court docs. I really don't, if you say he won, hey, show some proof. But the case is still.
Okay. Order granting defendants Rule 91A motions to dismiss. Okay. So we'll look for Texas Rule 91A. Except in a case brought under the Family Code or a case covered by Chapter 14 of the Texas Civil Practice and Remedies Code, a party may move to dismiss a cause of action on the grounds that it has no basis in law or fact. A cause of action has no basis in law if the allegations, taken as true, together with inferences reasonably drawn from them, do not entitle the claimant to the relief sought. A cause of action has no basis in fact if no reasonable person could believe the facts pleaded. Okay.
Still open. Okay. Maya Higa, right? With respect to fraud and torturous interference with business relationships, that was dismissed. And then she was still on the hook for defamation. Still was on the hook for defamation, but eventually that came off. Everything against Maya Higa was eventually thrown out. Same thing for OTK. Everything against OTK was thrown out. Just gone. Just because of this Rule 91 motion. This Rule 91 got rid of fraud and the torturous interference with business relationships. Because Adriana Lee did not have a contract where she could say, hey, I had this contract and I lost this amount of money. She tried to produce a document saying she lost money, but in all actuality, she likely benefited from the case. I don't know. I never talked to Adriana Lee. okay? And so basically, everyone, the fraud and the torturous interference with business was tossed out, okay? So that's for everyone. This is Mizkif. He said it was no big deal. No big deal. Hey.
Of what you can deem of it, it's sexual harassment, whatever. At a low scale, it's not really a big deal. I don't think...
True, but remember, family court is just based on 50%. So is all civil court. All civil court is 51%. All of what we're looking at now is going to be 51%. But we're not talking about 50% or 90% or anything like that now. We're just talking about pretrial motions as written. Like, do they follow these? Basically, all of this right now is just civil procedure. We're just procedurally going over things. That's it. We haven't gotten to any standards of evidence or anything yet.
People really gave a shit and really cared.
Court find that, hey, she cannot establish a case based off him saying what.
Why is it 51%? What was the rationale for that decision? Because if somebody fucks you over and you want to get some kind of relief from that person, and you're not trying to like implicate that person's fundamental rights, like their freedoms, then you should just have to prove it, you know, that a reasonable person would believe is probably true. That's probably good enough. For criminal court, though, you're talking about depriving the state, depriving you of your right to freedom. Right? That's a really big thing that you're about to be getting on. So there should be a high standard of proof in order to take that from you, to take your freedom from you.
What happened to her was no big deal. Now, when it comes to what Mizkif said, this is the statement. I've played it in old videos, but people forget where Mizkif was like, the only time I ever did not want to hang around Adriana.
Oh shit! They have this guy got statements and everything. Okay. The only time I did not want to hang out with Adriana is we went to 6th Street and she was groping Sear and it was very fucking weird and we stopped hanging out with her and that was it. The court finds that plaintiff cannot establish by clear and specific evidence a prima facie case for each essential element of her defamation claim as to the foregoing September 10th, 2021 statement. I wonder what the elements of this defamation claim are. So an element means that it has to be there. It's a necessary component of the thing being described. So if something has 4 elements, then all 4 have to be satisfied for the thing to be true in U.S. law or state laws. Whatever. Elements of Texas defamation crime. I believe the only element needed is, I think for federal civil suit, is it has to be an actionable statement and it has to be false. If you're not a public figure. Actionable meaning the statement is actionable meaning that the statement is something that like reduces to a fact. Like, so I can't get sued for defamation for saying that like, oh, this guy is an asshole. That's not like that's not considered an actionable statement. Now if I say, oh, that guy, you know, killed my child, that would be actionable because it's a statement that reduces to like a clear factual allegation or whatever. Elements of defamation. To prove a successful defamation claim, the plaintiff must show, this is from Freeman Law, I think this is for Texas. 1, the defendant published a false statement. I imagine that's easy if Mizkif said it on stream. 2, that defamed the plaintiff, I think meaning that the statement was incorrect. 3, with the requisite degree of fault regarding the statement's truth, meaning that with the requisite degree of fault. Oh, meaning that it was obviously like a false statement. So I think like if you were to say like, oh, requisite degree of fault, the statement needs to be wrong, I think, right? Yes, the statement needs to be wrong is what this is saying, I think. And then 4, damages unless the statement constitutes defamation per se. For defamation per se, that just means that there are certain types of defaming that you can engage in against somebody, and the defamation is just considered so bad you don't actually have to prove damages. I believe there are statutory awards given for certain types of defamation, basically. So if you say somebody's like a rapist, I don't think you have to prove damages for that. You can be awarded. I don't know if it's just considered secondary or punitive, or if there's something different, if it's called something different as opposed to compensatory, if those are whatever, but yeah, I don't know. But, okay.
Statement. I've played it in old videos, but people forget where Mizkif was like, the only time I ever did not want to hang around Adriana is we went to 6th Street and she was groping Sear and it was very effing weird and we stopped hanging out with her and that was it.
Were there points that you told streamers or were aware that streamers were told not to hang out with Adriana?
The only time I ever did not want to hang out with Adriana is we went to 6th Street and she was groping Sear and it was very fucking weird. So we stopped hanging out with her and then that was it.
The thing about groping Sear, that is a fact. You're stating a fact. She was groping Sear. Now
I don't actually know. Be careful. I don't know how this would be real in court. I don't know if that would count as like an actionable statement in court when you say groping, because it might be that like reasonable minds can disagree on what groping means. I don't actually know what the answer to that would be in court. Like maybe somebody comes up and gives you an aggressive hug and someone's like, oh, he groped me. I don't know if that would count as a defamatory statement. I actually have no idea.
Text message that she provided would say otherwise that...
Isn't it hearsay? Hearsay is when you are repeating something that somebody else said about a relevant matter to the court, I think. Something that would be relevant. There's a more specific thing, but the issue basically with let me just read this. Where's our Westlaw? Hearsay is an out-of-court statement offered to prove the truth of whatever it asserts, which is then offered in evidence to prove the truth of the matter. So relevant to like whatever is in court or whatever. But the issue is that you have a right to face your accused. Also, I don't even know, by the way, I don't know if hearsay is disallowed in civil court. I have no idea. I don't know if that matters or not. But the issue is that at least in criminal court, you have a right to face your accuser, right? Well, let's say somebody takes the stand and like, oh, well, what do you think about Stephen? It's like, well, actually, John told me that Stephen, tortured this person, stabbed him in the throat, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, the fuck? Okay, well, when it's my turn, and by me, I mean by proxy, my attorney can go up to cross-examine the witness, and he says, well, where was Stephen? And the guy's like, oh, I don't know. This is just what John told me. Oh, well, fuck me, I guess, then. Like, that's hearsay, bullshit. Like, I need to be able to put John on the stand, and I have a right to ask him questions to ascertain the credibility of him, and to make sure that what he's saying is true, and to cross-examine him and everything else. I should be able to do that. So hearsay is generally inadmissible, at least in criminal court. But that's why you have a right to face your accused. You have a right to ask them questions and to do things to establish your credibility in front of a jury and everything else. Yeah. The first exception to the hearsay rule, and there are some exceptions, as there often are to some things, but the first exception to the hearsay rule is the excited utterance exception. This exception applies when someone makes a statement during a startling event in the heat of the moment, potentially providing an unguarded or accurate piece of information. This exception is most applicable in criminal cases, as the rationale behind it is that during or immediately following a criminal act, a person is not likely to have the presence of mind to lie or give false statements. In order for a statement to qualify as an excited utterance, it must have been made in conjunction with an event that would be so overwhelming as to discount the possibility of fabrication. I wonder who can report an excited utterance. And then statements against interest exception. This exception applies to statements or actions that adversely affect the party who made the statement. These statements do not need to be formal admissions. The theory behind this exception is that a person will not fabricate a statement that is adverse to their own best interest. However, the witness offering the hearsay testimony may not be telling the truth, but that goes to the credibility, not the admissibility. Okay. I guess. Okay. Anyway.
She was groping Seer. Now, the text message that she...
Wait, in a civil trial, can you compel a party, plaintiff or defendant, to give testimony? If you know, you get 10 points. Oh, I don't think you can ever compel somebody to give testimony. However, in civil court, you have the right to not say anything as an accused party, but the jury can interpret that however they want. In criminal court, just because I plead the fifth and I don't want to incriminate myself, that doesn't mean that the jury can just assume I'm guilty. That's bullshit. But in civil court, if the guy's like, did you pay your rent or not? I plead the fifth, motherfucker. The jury is allowed to look at that and go, oh, well, of course you are, because you fucking didn't pay your shit, dumbass. So in civil court, you don't typically plead the fifth because people can assume your guilt afterwards. And I think that the plaintiff is even allowed to imply your guilt afterwards as well. I believe.
She provided would say otherwise, that Seer didn't see it as groping. And this is in the eyes of the court. I know, like, you have this thing.
In civil court, if a prosecutor suggests they won't incriminate you for your testimony, you can be compelled to give testimony. See what happened to Bill Cosby? Well, when you say if a prosecutor suggests they won't incriminate you for your testimony, you can be compelled. Are you talking about like in the, like for like a plea deal or something, or? Retard question, isn't the false elector slates against Trump dependent on hearsay of Trump's statement of pressure to Mike Pence? No, I don't even think that involves the false elector thing, but okay.
Would say,
do civil trials have juries? They can, or you can just do, I think they're called a bench trial. It's just where the judge rules at the end. I don't know civil trials. I don't know if you have the right to demand a trial for every civil matter or not, or for all tort. I don't know if you have the right to do that.
It was very fucking weird. So we stopped hanging out with her, and then that was it.
The thing about groping Seer, that is a fact. You're stating a fact. She was groping Seer. Now, the text message that she provided would say otherwise, that Seer didn't see it as groping. And this is in the eyes of the court. I know, like, you have this thing where people in the Twitch community may know other information, but you have
What is a tort? I think a tort is just like civil litigation where some party is injured. Bro, I don't know. Tort, civil law. What is the evidence that Trump commanded these things to be done? Any recordings? Multiple people testified to Trump saying that to them. The concept of tort law is to redress a wrong done to a person and provide relief from the wrongful act of others. Okay. Yeah.
have to realize you're the judge. The judge goes off what's submitted to the court, not what Henry said in the video, not what where people in the Twitch community may know other information, but you have to realize you're the judge. The judge goes off what's submitted to the court, not what Henry said in the video, not what some old clip that exists out here where Adrian is saying ABC. That's not what the courts go off of. So when you're in the court, you have to think, hey, the judge is looking at all this information, right? They say, hey, this statement right here, she cannot establish a case that she was defamed because this is not.
Cosby didn't want to give testimony in a sexual assault case. The attorney said that they wouldn't press charges based on what testimony, so he was deposed. The reason he was released from prison is because they did use that testimony to incriminate him later. Well, sure, but that sounds like a deal to me, Flens. They're not really compelling him to give testimony, no? They're just saying, like, listen, if you give testimony on this case, on the civil case, we'll never come after you criminally for it, basically, right?
Information, right? They say, hey, this statement right here, she cannot establish a case that she was defamed because this is an opinion piece.
90% of people look. I don't think there's a single person we've used to hang out with that doesn't hang out with Slick anymore because of what happened. I actually think there's literally none because the reality is worst comes of it. It's fucking sexual harassment.
Him saying what happened to her was not a big deal is an opinion. It is personal opinion. All right, like my personal opinion that Miz is the best streamer in the world, guys. All right, anywho. So now, this is for the next case, okay? The next state. The court further finds that Adriana Lee has established by clear and specific evidence a prima facie case for each essential element of her defamation claim as to the foregoing September 23rd, 2022 statement, which is groping seer. So when Mizkif is saying, hey, I won, I'm like, well, that's not what the courts are saying. Now, I'm about to show you some other stuff that...
So if that means that they granted that the defamation claim was met, one of the essential elements, if I read that last thing right, one of the essential elements is that there's some damage that can be proven or whatever, I guess, or they can go to court over. So interesting. Okay.
You will see. And you can look like I look. I'm not a lawyer. And make your own decision if he truly won.
What is prima facie case? Prima facie just means that if all of the facts alleged are true, then some kind of tort or like is invoked or some kind of like law has been broken. So I went to your house. I called you a loser. I went home. Somebody submits a complaint to a court or a police officer does. Prima facie, there's no case. No law has been broken, even if all the alleged facts are true. I go to your house. I punch you in the face. I come home. Prima facie, there is a case there. You've broken a criminal law. There's a law that can be implicated. There's a direct statute that you can cite, and if all the facts are broken, prima facie, there is a case. So a motion to dismiss means that prima facie, there is no case. Like even if everything, well, one of the ways a motion to dismiss can be granted is even if all the asserted facts are true, there's no tort, there's no criminal thing or whatever, like they walk.
And where's the proof of him winning? Is further ordered in a judge that defendant's motion is hereby granted as to plaintiff's defamation claim against defendants Matthew, just say Mizkif.
A judge the defendant's motion is hereby granted as plaintiff's defamation claims against defendants. The September 10th statement. Oh, okay.
For the September 10th statement. Okay, so hey, that case of defamation on that first statement saying it's no big deal is dismissed. And you like, all right, cool. All right, now it is further ordered in the jury that defendant's motion is hereby granted to plaintiff's infliction of emotional distress claim against defendants Mizkif and whatchamacallit, in his business. Now, this is where
defendant's motion is hereby granted as a plaintiff's intentional infliction of emotional distress claim against defendants, and that claim is dismissed with prejudice. So dismissed just means that dismissed with prejudice means that it can't be brought up again. Dismissed without prejudice means you could bring it up again, I guess. Yeah.
Hey, bro, you lost right here. So this is where I'm like, this right here is leverage for Adriana. Let's read it because people forget. It is further ordered in a judge that defendant's motion is hereby denied, as in it's not getting dismissed, as to plaintiff's defamation claim against Mizkif and his company. So his company and him were still on the hook. That's where I put. Now let's talk settlement. Settlement talks. Let's talk settlement. Okay, now look, it's further ordered in a judge that defendant Mizkif and Enterprises may seek attorney's fees related to the motion that request may be set for the central docket before any judge. Now, the attorney fees, in my interpretation, is for the charges that were dismissed. The emotional distress is gone. But as you can see, he's clearly still on the hook for the defamation that is related to him saying she was groping Seer. Now, what did I do today? I reached out to the goddamn courts and I was like, look, what's going on? I'm hearing some things. They said, hey, these are the vacations that you see right here. You say, hey, these vacations here, this is Adriana Lee's teams. This is their vacation. Say, look, they like, look. June 10th to June 14th, we are unavailable. In September 9th to September 13th, we're unavailable. So their team is out. All right, that's her team. Now I looked at his teams and they say something similar. They're like, look, hey, June 10th to the 14th, June 17th to the 21st, we out. Don't schedule anything. So then I was like, look, it has to be something else going on. Give me the goddamn juice. I was like, give me the goddamn juice. And my contact, now this page is not watermarked at all, but you're going to see what the judges write down, right? This is the judges' notes, what you're about to see. I didn't get a chance to watermark it. I didn't get a chance to edit it.
Oh,
There's
no.
no personal information on here. That's
Oh,
crazy
no watermark.
But this is
I'm about to steal this.
Current docket notes for the case that Mizkif saying, that he allegedly won and he's just waiting for approval and all this other stuff. And it could be true. It could be true. However, it is not in the court docs. And this is what I go by to say, hey, what the hell's going on? So this is the docket notes or the judges' notes with comments, okay? So the judges make notes about everything that happens, kind of like their own log to kind of see where the case is. They don't got time to read through all this crap, this googly gop. And we're not about to read through all this googly gop, okay? We're not about to read through all of it, okay? Any of that. But I go down to the most recent entry, which was from 12/19/2023. Order grant OTK Media's Inc. motion for attorney fees. Fees was signed on 12/19/2023 by the judge, all right? And filed with the district clerks of the office, request e-service counsel. Now, this is the end of it, right? You're like, that's the last entry. Last entry, okay? You see, you can scroll up, hey.
What is a disposition order, Texas? What does that mean? Deferred disposition is a suspended sentence. The current or final outcome of okay. Disposition is like the last thing filed, basically, or like the end of a thing, like ending a thing, maybe.
Order grant defendant Maya Higgins TCPA motion to dismiss. Order on defendants Matthew, I hate his whole name. Plaintiffs evidence were signed 11/13. The orders were electronically filed. DCO through agency upload. Blah 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 blah. There's nothing in the judge's notes about hey, Mizkif won. Now, what you likely happen is my speculation is a settlement. Now, what type of settlement? I could be 100% wrong, but this is my theory, my 100% theory, my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I got to say all that. So here goes, right? All right, so OTK is owed 50K, I think it was like 53K, right? 53K lawyer fees.
Oh, he must have read this out of a previous document, I guess, right? Do you think they just settled for the fees that they won in court?
Higa, she is owed some lawyer fees. Mizkif is owed lawyer fees. Now, this may be a little too big because I wanted it all on the same screen. So these people are all owed lawyer fees. Now, even though Miz lost on the defamation, the judge said, hey, you still can file for lawyer fees for the emotional distress and all the other stuff. So what do I think happened? Why you haven't seen a trial date or a court date or anything like that? My speculation is chances are a settlement took place. Not just any settlement. A round, hey, let's nip this in the bud type settlement. I could be wrong. I'm telling you, I could be wrong. People are like, no, we never settled. She just dropped the case. All right, well, did she agree to pay you the money? Well, now look, here's the thing. When this case finally does conclude, there will be something filed in the court. You can't just say, case over, it's done so. You have to file something officially in the court saying it's over. And whether it be, hey, we reached a settlement agreement outside the court and all things is gone, or Adriana Lee submit, say, hey, I dropped the case completely. Now, here's the thing, right? How does the settlement look? Hey, Mizkif pays for all legal fees. Miz pays all legal fees. I think this is my speculation. He pays all legal fees. Adriana Lee can never speak on OTK or Miz or Maya Higa or Crazy Slick. And she walks away with nothing. This is what I think the settlement is. If I'm Miz and I'm their lawyer and look, because this is leverage. This is leverage right here. Hey, you already owe $53,000 OTK. That's signed, sealed, and delivered. Maya Higa fees, she never filed. Mizkif fees, he never filed. He never filed saying, hey, pay me back my money. So is that the results? If that's the results, it's a W for Miz. Is a settlement a W for Miz? I don't know. When it comes to these legal court cases, I can only relate to mine. W for me and my divorce was keeping the house and having 50-50 custody. That was a dub. Now it cost me like $80,000 out of pocket, but I still got what I wanted. I won in my mind. But Some people may see that as a loss. That's 80 out of 80,000. Yeah, whatever. But if this is the settlement, is this a win? If Miz settled with Adriana Lee and she walked away with nothing and could never mention OTK, Crazy Slick, or Mizkif or Mike again, is that a win? Is that a win? Is that a win? Which is why OTK stayed in the court even though they could have left like Mike. No, LTK is done. Okay, y'all saying it's a win. All right, hey man, if y'all say it's a win, it's a win. Now a win for me, if I'm Mizkif, is no. We go to trial.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that is what happened then. But I don't know if we can know if you can pull these documents or whatever, or if Henry will.